with his busy schedule is very remarkable work. Presently, he is serving as a syndicate member of Anna University, Chennai, and also he served as a syndicate member and Senate member of Periyar University, Salem. At the same time, his awe-inspiring service as the National Vice President of Indian Society of Technical Education, New Delhi, from 2011 to 2014, and Chairman of IEI Salem Local Center from 2012 to 2014. Founder Chairman of IEI Hosur Local Center during 2015 to 2016. Committee member of Mechanical Division Board of IEI Tamil Nadu State Center from 2014 to 2016. Chairman IEI Tamil Nadu State Center from 2016 to 2018. IEI Council member representing Tamil Nadu State Center from 2018 to 2000 till date. And at present, his remarkable service as National Executive Council member, IST New Delhi. And also Chairman Kate. Chairman Kate is very important post, and it is a job of chairman to have a bird eye view on all the technical activities going on in institution of engineers. Now I will invite our Chairman Kate to address the webinar.
Thank you. Watching the webinar. Doing a wonderful job in the evening hours as a moderator. Am I audible, sir? So, in absentia, the President of IEI, and Chairman of Mechanical Division Board and Civil Division Board, here Nagaraj. And of course, the Chairman of Uttarakhand State Center is out of country. And today, our Secretary, Satish Chandra Chauhan is available. Two important panelists for the speakers here, P.P. Yadavji, who is Super Engineer in Irrigation Department from Irrigation Department. That's a very, very important today's topic. It's very relevant. All the participants. My friend Satish Chakravarti is taking the responsibility of having this program for importance. To all of you. I'm so happy to talk to all of you. Today's topic is a very important topic, particularly at the ages of Division Board. Is regarding Ganga Canal. We will discuss regarding as well as how to build and how to clean everything. And the two panelists, those who are having big experience, chief engineer as well as presently working as department.
Institution.
All these participants, those are shown good interest at this. More than 60 participants are there today for this wonderful program. Webinar, no doubt in that. And State Center, Honorable Secretary Sir, Chandra, Chauhan.
ये ना लगाना जरा इसका मेरा या साउंड तो नहीं बढ़िया आ रही यार इसकी
this program.
आशीर्वाद हो रहा था इसको नवीन
They won't have very good input.
कलाम को भैया फिर दोबारा ना इसको दौड़ाना पड़े क्यों बढ़िया हो रही है इस लैपटॉप में कमी है कुछ
स्पीकर में हो सकती है
This, let me wish all of you all the best. So thank you all, sir.
इसमें आई नहीं रही
अच्छा तेज करें।
हाँ वॉल्यूम किधर से पढ़ते हैं फिर इसका नीचे आता है ऑप्शन म्यूट कर दीजिए तो आपको बोला नहीं जी म्यूट कर दीजिए
क्या चीज कहा?
ये म्यूट कर दीजिए वॉल्यूम का ये क्लिक करो
करो। ये पूछो ये बोल लिए क्या रंगनाथ?
Okay, yes, that you read. Now, Goel sahab, you can start again.
ओके
Rangnath sir has completed.
कंप्लीटेड। अच्छा ये
Okay, you come to next. Yes.
ओके प्रेसिडेंट साहब हैं?
No,
प्रेसिडेंट साहब नहीं आए।
no, president has not joined.
ओके
हाँ.
कोई बात नहीं। अरे यार ये फिर हो गया, देखो करना इसको तो कहाँ है? चलो अच्छा बस।
Goel sir, now you can introduce and invite the panelist.
हाँ आप पहले इसको इनवाइट करें।
Yes, sir. Introduce and invite the panelist now. When president will come, then he can.
Since president is not here at present, whenever the president will come, will take his deliberations. Now I will request our first panelist, Mr. N.K. Yadav, and before inviting him, I will read about his brief description of Mr. N.K. Yadav. N.K. Yadav is a mechanical engineer and joined his service in Uttar Pradesh State Irrigation Department and retired as Chief Engineer Mechanical from Uttarakhand Irrigation Department. He was Managing Director of Uttarakhand Project Development and Construction Corporation Limited. He is a mechanical engineer from Roorkee University in year 1983. And after graduation, he worked at the paper and material handling plant of Larsen & Toubro Limited, Calcutta. He joined irrigation department in year 86. He has vast experience in the hydromechanical and hydrostructural works, including groundwater exploration and drilling deep tube wells in Bhabar area, operation and management of state tube wells and design, fabrication and erection of hydromechanical equipment, gates, penstocks, etc. Some of the notable projects completed under his supervision are Shiv Dhanush Bridge, Harki Pedi. This was a remarkable bridge designed and constructed by Mr. N.K. Yadav during his tenure in Kumbh Mela Haridwar. And it was appreciated by all the dignitaries of Uttarakhand that he has designed such a remarkable and outstanding bridge in Haridwar. Moreover, the subject chosen is of a civil engineering subject, but you will not feel at any stage that the subject is of civil engineering, and being a mechanical engineer, Mr. N.K. Yadav is delivering his talks on the subject of mechanical engineering. Over to Mr. N.K. Yadav. अच्छा मुझे ना वो दो तीन ब्लैंक कागज दो
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
I am very thankful to Engineer S.C. Goel sir for reading my biodata and having good words about the Shiv Dhanush Bridge, apart from the Om Bridge. That is our one of the best structures that we have made in Uttarakhand. Not in Uttarakhand, but in northern India, you can't see such an most marvelous bridge in Hardwar. That is now the landmark of. Yeah. So my topic actually, as S.C. Goel sir had told me, although I am a mechanical engineer from Roorkee University, IIT Roorkee, but because the most of my work actually was from 2008 to 2019 till my retirement, and before that also, from 1990 to 93, I was associated with the construction of the parallel Ganga Canal, which was funded by the World Bank organization. And I was a part of it. That's why I have so much of attachment with the Ganga Canal that I can't stop myself for delivering a lecture on the history of irrigation in the whole world, like the construction of the Ganga Canal by the Britishers, our engineer, Sir Proby Cotley. So this is my opportunity to have to give a message to the new generation that Sir Proby Cotley, he was an army officer. I am just giving first the background of the project also. And I want to tell them that my young generation who are having well equipped with all engineering aspects, they can do a marvelous job when our army officer without an engineering background can construct so huge canal system. And at the time in 1854, it was the world's the biggest canal system in the whole world. And I will come gradually on the points. What are the basic points? The Soloni Aqueduct that I'll come later on, that are the world's biggest aqueduct for carrying such a huge carrying capacity of water of 13,500 cubic of water at present. And at that time, 189 cubic of water. And later on, it was remodeled by my friend, Engineer C.V. Yadav in 2016, 17, and 18. So, my dear friends, now I'll come on my topic of history of irrigation in the whole world. ये दूसरा खोल दिया कौन? ये साहब का खोल दिया। अमित ये दूसरा खोल दिया आपने। Just wait a minute. Share screen. History. Yeah. History of irrigation. Yeah. See. Yeah. फिर वही ठीक है हिसाब तो खुल रहा है नहीं तो इसे कर दो just wait minutes one actually both the lectures actually जैसे yes NNC ये खोलो first yeah same message आप ही के पेन ड्राइव ये स्क्रीन का ना स्क्रीन का स्क्रीनिंग my dear friends, sorry for interruption because of the two lectures are put together. ये जैसी वही है ये ना ये साहब वाला आ गया पेनड्राइव से लगा दो अमित चक्रवर्ती इसको डिलीट कर ये वाला है ये वाला
sharing.
दूसरा सीन
फाइल्स में
या तो उसको डिलीट करो
स्क्रीन गायब हो गई।
सॉरी फॉर इंटरप्शन
उसका डेस्कटॉप ऑप्शन
पेन ड्राइव लगा दो
ऑप्शन ही नहीं आया। ऑप्शन नहीं आया इसलिए भी चाहिए। ये
ये So sorry for interruption because of some technical problem. I first of all welcome
नीचे डाउन
yeah
एक एंटर कर
enter से करें
एंटर से भी हो
अच्छा, ठीक।
जाएगा।
First of all, I welcome all my delegates plus the dignitaries that are shared the dais. First of all, I will cover the history of the irrigation, the whole world. What is an irrigation? Why irrigation is required? I think all are listening my voice. So, my friends, irrigation is as ancient as our civilization is. In the recorded history of ancient times, there are numerous references to the proactive of irrigation from wells, tanks, canals, and directly from the rivers. Among notable irrigation works in the whole world, you will find that the footprints exist in Egypt, Iraq, India, now the present Pakistan, although it was erstwhile India, China, Peru, and Mexico. And my dear friends, before coming to the history of the irrigation in the whole world, from 2000 to 6000 years BC before, I will tell you that there were three main civilizations. One was the Sumerians, second was the Babylonians, and third was the Assyrians. And the longest lasting irrigation was developed in Egypt in the valley of Nile River. So Nile River, actually we have read in history that the civilization of Egypt or in African countries based on the Nile River. And we also heard that Harappan civilization developed in Indus River Valley. So based on these three, Sumerians, Babylonians, and Assyrians, I will come point by point that how this civilization in the whole world contributed towards the development of the irrigation works. So first of all, I will come the irrigation in the world rise and fall of the Mesopotamian civilization. First of all, my dear friends, the Sumerians migrated from the Mesopotamia. They migrated from Mesopotamia, the Sumerians, and it was the highland in around 4000 BC. It was the era around 4000 BC before. They settled in the lowland plains of southern Mesopotamia, and that was called as a fertile crescent. Means that land was good for irrigating or for germinating the various crops to feed the generations. The developed extensive irrigation facilities utilize the water of Tigris and Euphrates rivers. During the Sumerians, what they used in irrigation in the earlier areas, they used the water of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, check dams, and furrow methods. Furrow method means that like we check dams, or you can say as a bara in local languages in our India, that is best most known for it. Then, my dear friends, the Akkadians empire came. It was the period of 2300 BC. One of the minister of Sumerian kingdom, the Sargam of Akkad, because why this Akkadian name came? This Sumerian kingdom, one of the minister, that name was Sargam of Akkad, and based on that name, this Akkadian empire came. And the first human empire, Akkadian Empire, about 200 kilometers from irrigated plains of southern Mesopotamians to reviewed agriculture plains of northeast Syria. Nowadays, this area is known as the northeast of Syria, but earlier it was known as a Akkadian Empire. And who were the Akkadian? The Sargam or Akkad, the minister of Sumerians, he ruled for this stage for a lot of time, and he developed the irrigation work for many years. Say 100 years, due to the population of pressure, water shortage, and land degradation. The fall of Akkadian Empire came into existence, and later on, apart from this Akkadian, the Babylon's empire came. That's why I'm coming gradually to the current situation. Where this Ganga Canal system, as our oldest canal system constructed by the Britishers, and I will come gradually that that's why I'm saying 5600 BC से हम चले 2300 आगे. अब Babylon's का empire हमारा 18th century BC political power shifted towards northern Iraq. Now this area is known as a northern Iraq, and King Hammurabi, he was a very famous king. Babylon's में during 1792 to 50 BC में King Hammurabi, he was a very famous king, and he introduced a development or say new methods for irrigation. And during this Hammurabi also, I want to tell you that the historic code of law, apart from this, the 285 laws of 700 deal with irrigation came into existence and on black and white paper. So, my dear friends, if anyone opens his irrigation canal, one of the rule I am quoting here of King Hammurabi, to let in water, if the water by careless, the floods the fields of his neighbor, shall measure out grain to the latter in proportion to the yield of the neighborhood field. My dear friends, this was one of the law that King Hammurabi, because sometimes the neighbors have a jealous that his crop is very good, my crop is not too good. They cut the canal system, and now it is called as a tawan also. In the modern system, the penalty that is imposed on all the farmers if the crop is destroyed by cutting the canal system by one farmer, but the tawan will be levied on all the farmers based on the production of the grains in that area. 85 laws and irrigation laws came into this King Hammurabi, means Babylon's empire. And the large canal was built between the old Sumer city to the Persian Gulf. At the time, it was the major construction of this canal system. Now, Assyrians, that's why I'm telling the Babylons has came, Akkadians has came, now the Assyrians empire came. Like Babylons, Assyrians took pride in building the irrigation canals, built extensive network of canals along the small reservoir of stores run of water. My dear friends, gradually as the civilization improved, the lot of this, after this King Hammurabi, they have made a lot of these rules, regulations, code of conduct for regulating the water and this assurance. Then they also improve the irrigation manual or the system, so that the population, because gradually the population also increased and we have to feed them. Unless we have an irrigation, how can we increase our production? So society reached its peak between 2nd to 7th century AD under the rule of Sassanians. Sassanians आए इसके बाद और उन्होंने 3री से 7वीं शताब्दी के बीच में काफी इरिगेशन सिस्टम को इंप्रूव करने का काम किया. They planned and they constructed many water resource schemes, because at the time gradually a technology they developed how to create, how to implement, how to prepare a, like just nowadays we say is a DPR, detailed project reports. So these Sassanians, after this Babylonians or Sassanians, they prepared a roadmap for irrigation system so that they can feed to the society, because the population also increased gradually. After this, the river basin in China, because my topic is first actually the history of the irrigation of the whole world. That's why I am coming gradually after this Asia. I'll come to China, then Japan, the East, and the American, Mexico, gradually, so that you have an idea that gradually with the passage of the time, we have developed so extensive irrigation works. My dear friend, river basin China, earlier known as Sorrow River of China, and everybody, every citizen of China was so disturbed during the flood period. Lot of this population affected on the banks of this Yellow River. And my dear friends, in 2600 BC, the king emperor was the Li Ping, and he was the governor of the Changfu of China in 3300 BC. And along with this Yellow River, that is known as a Sorrow River of China, he constructed 1,130 kilometer long imperial canal built in 700 AD for irrigation and navigation. So gradually the Sorrow River of China changed into the prosperity of China. So the credit go to the Li Ping. After that, the Egyptians in the valley, the irrigation was practiced in Nile Valley of Egypt between 3000 BC. Artesian wells, nowadays you also know artesian wells in our this Uttarakhand valley somewhere there. From this Mohon to the Khatima, lot of these artesian wells are there. Lot of these water lifting devices were developed, swing basket and the Saka. The king means in about 3000 BC introduced system of barrage irrigations. In 2000 BC, diversion was taking place from Nile Canal into the Lake Moeris. So gradually what happened, as the civilization came into the present year from BC to AD, the current situation, lot of the literature, lot of learned pupils like ours, the lot of this prepared code of conduct, they prepared lot of irrigation subjects and the literature. And because on the study, based on study, they start constructing the canal system, the barrage system, the diversion system, the earthen bank with the different sizes. They also started crop rotation. Nowadays, it is not also very famous that we have to rotate the crop, and last over 5,000 years without serious problems of sustainability. That's why I am saying the Egyptian empire, the irrigation system in the Egypt Valley, Nile Valley, last over around 5,000 years. And in Africa, when I'll cover this Africa also, I'll tell you that around 75% of irrigation is being done in Egypt, in Nile River and in Morocco. and rest 27% in the rest 51 countries of the African continent. Now, I will cover the early irrigation system of Iran. The irrigation great work under this rule of Darius. I'm telling and I'm coming about the Iran. My dear friends, earlier, as you know, during the Mahabharata, Iran was also a part of India. Afghanistan was also a part of India. And gradually they have separated from India. But the ancient irrigation, the civilization, because the civilization developed where this water was there. That's why I want to tell you that irrigation works means the water. Why it is necessary? Because water is the most essential part for not human being, for irrigating the crops, for drinking the water, for industries, anything else that you go for, that water is required. And for this, I want to tell you that they introduced the system of canals, means tunnels, bara, जो आजकल हम कहते हैं कि राजवाह, छोटे छोटे नदियां से जो हम लोगों ने निकाले हैं, that is known as a tunnels and canals, and tapping groundwater from the recharge area. My dear friend, during this Iran early period, groundwater recharging, groundwater tapping was also started. So drilling of tube wells is not a new technique, it is a very old technique, even you can say 500 BC before. Now I will cover the irrigation under the Japan and Southeast. I will cover a little bit so that I will cover the main topic, the construction of Ganga Canal. Just I want to give you a brief description about the irrigation in the various continents, subcontinents, and the developed, that gradually developed during the increase or of the civilization. In Japan, during this Yahoo era, before 600 BC, lot of diversion of mountain streams by canal for irrigation started in Japan. And similarly in Thailand, and Philippines and Indonesia, irrigation by diverging works and direct flooding by rivers is known to have been extensively practiced in Thailand, Philippines and Indonesia. You can see still, if you have opportunity to visit these countries, like now we have an opportunity to our immediate past president and our chairman of DAM, Disaster Awareness Management, S.C. Goel sir, our chairman, Uttarakhand State, D.C. Arora sir, and moreover, I am very thankful to our national president, Mr. Thackeray, Hemant Thackeray, and Vasuaji for their continuous support in Cebu, that Philippines Technological Council organized a so beautiful program, and we are part of their delegation. I'm very thankful to our national president and national immediate past president and national chairman of DAM, S.C. Goel sir. So my dear friends, apart from this, now I come to the Americas. What was the system in America at that time? Because nowadays, America is the most developed country, but apart from this, you will know that in America, irrigation system also as old as our civilization. Even in America, around 100 BC before, the irrigation agriculture was prevalent. And the Peru, in the country Peru, in the Americas subcontinent, developed extensive irrigation work. The Spaniards on the entry to Mexico and Peru elaborate irrigation works. They are the footprints of irrigation of the 100 BC before exists in the history. The remnants of ancient canals are visiting along the Gila River in Arizona and Valley of Gurnakana. Those who have visited America, they are well known about these words. And the James Empire developed advanced irrigation system in America. Now, my dear friends, 100,000, 1,000 to 300 BC, one quote is there. I want to tell you, no grain is ever produced without water, but too much water tends to spoil the grain, and inundation is as injurious to growth as dearth of water. My dear friends, This is one of the quote at that time in the history. And during the Magadha rulers, also I have one quote from the Karnak Kataj of Magadhas, the land of Buddha. They were intersected by the network of canals and ridges. Watering projects were undertaken by the specialists who conducted to water as they pleased. So during this Magadha also and during this courts of the Americas also, that no grip. So irrigation is so important at the time also. Irrigation is as important towards in the present scenario also. Okay, without a water, even a single grain can't be produced. And Megan is what? Megan is right. Greek ambassador in the court of Emperor of Chandragupta Maurya. That's the few lines I am telling you. The whole country was under irrigation and very prosperous because of 2 crop growth system in a year. My dear friends, during the Chandragupta Maurya regime, 2 crop system were introduced and the whole country was under irrigation. So it was the golden period of irrigation during this Chandragupta Maurya empire. The district officers measure the land and inspect the sluices by which water is distributed in the branch canals so that everyone may get fair share of the benefit. And now, my dear friends, this is the period of the Magasthnis, the Chandragupta Maurya, and see the present. System थोड़ा सा सर net because of the net actually problem. Yeah. Amit. Because of net problem, sir, little bit Godhan is there. Pawan. Excuse me, slide, moving a problem, creating. I am just solving the problem and I will come. Pawan, थोड़ा slide इसका जो बीच में net चला गया था actually. इसके next
एंटर मार ये वाला ये है ना आप इसमें.
Now, my dear friends, during the for this Africa, I have told you there are 53 countries, African countries, and there are 7 zones: the northern, the Sudan, Sahelian, the Gulf of Guyana, Central, Eastern, Indian Ocean, and Southern Africa. This is the map of Africa, and due to the series of problems in the region, needs calls for urgent and effective steps to increase agricultural products in the irrigation system. And I am telling you, I have already told that around 42% of Africa is in Egypt, 30% in Sudan, Morocco, and Madagascar, means the 72% in all these 3 or 4 countries, and rest 50 countries, they share just 28%. But now, because of the technology improved, now lot of this irrigation work is being carried out in other African countries. Now, my dear friends, I will come the irrigation developed in India. In India, the water is as a natural resource, a basic human need, and prime national asset. My friend, I am saying it is a basic human need and a prime national asset. Means without water, without storing of rainwater, without recharging our groundwater data, our future generation will not survive at all. So a lot of attention is to be made on the modern irrigation like sprinkler, the drip irrigation, and other methods, the technologies. So the growth of population was around 2%, means we have to increase food production by 2.5% a year. So it is a direct relation with the population and the irrigation system. At the time, it was increased in 2%, so we have to increase little bit more so that we can feed the whole civilization, whole the population. The available water resources are due to the optimally harnessed and beneficially utilized with appropriate priorities of use. So, my dear friends, now I will cover gradually how this irrigation system in India developed from the dynasty of Panda, Chera, Chola, Palwa, Chaluka, as you have heard the name in the ancient dynasty. So I am coming from that point to gradually to our scenario. With the expansion of the irrigation agriculture, South India became the rice bowl of India. And still in South India is known as a rice bowl of India. Because from the ancient times, lot of these anacards, the channels, the dams and the barrages on Kaveri, Krishna, so many rivers are there, old rivers, and a lot of the irrigation developed during the 2nd century is the first major irrigation system in the Indian subcontinent. So now I will come the Gupta era, 300 to 500 mostly irrigated through canals. Then Palwaj, 550 AD, motive extensive tank irrigation. Chola Empire, 985 to 1205 AD, chain tanks of Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh during this Chola Empire. Then in northern East India, during 12th century AD, Rajput rulers made significant contribution in irrigation development, my dear friend. As you know, I am telling, this is especially Rajput rulers, because they belong to the rural areas. They were born and brought up in the rural area. That's why they paid more attention toward the irrigation system so that they can feed their people, so that they can feed their followers by modern irrigation systems. And my dear friends, during that time also Bhopal Lake built during that period 647 square kilometer of surface area. So that was a huge lake and still it exists right now. Or then came the Vijayanagara kingdom, the very famous kingdom, 1336 to 1500 AD. Vijayanagara kingdom established the Harihara 1 or Harihara 2. There were the 2 rulers and they developed irrigation system and the large scale and land reclamation irrigation work during this Harihara, King Harihara 1 came. Because people are having land from one place to other place. So King Harihara introduced the Chakbandi. Now it is known as a Chakbandi. At that time it was known as a land reclamation system. So that the people will get the land at one place and they can get the irrigation system at one system, and so that they can irrigate their fields. This is our India's map where this irrigation, ancient irrigation system exists. Then my friend, the Mughal Empire came. During this 14th to 18th AD, they also developed irrigation system because the population increased, and they want that their empire, that the rulers want some taxes known as a jizya tax, not on Hindus but on the other population also, to run a empire. Construct numerous tanks and deep wells by local rulers, and here a very famous canal. I am taking the name of Yamna Canal. In 1355, Firoz Shah Tughlaq was the ruler, and his Susral was in Hisar, district of Haryana. Now it is Hisar of Haryana. And her, the queen, जिसको कहते हैं वो बेगम, ask फिरोज शाह तुगलक, आप किस चीज के रूलर हैं, आप मेरे गांव में पानी नहीं पहुंचा सकते। तो राजा को ताव आ गया और यमुना नदी से उन्होंने यमुना कैनाल सिस्टम, जो वेस्टर्न यमुना कैनाल सिस्टम है जो हिसार के लिए गई है, वो बना डाली। बट because he had not made some rules and regulations, manual orders that now my friends has made during the action of this northern Ganga Canal system, the historic Ganga Canal system. So that canal was abandoned due to the flood. Then what happened after that? Then again Emperor Akbar renovated in 1568. The great king, the Emperor Akbar came. And before that also, after that, Emperor Shahjahan restored the silted and unusable Western Yamuna Canal. Emperor Shahjahan built 180 kilometer long canal from Ravi River from Shalimar Gardens of Lahore. These are the some important milestones during the Mughal Empire. The Eastern Yamuna Canal system was constructed by Emperor Shah. Because my friend, 1355, I told the Shah Tughlaq एम्परर था, उसकी वाइफ बेगम ने बोला कि कैनाल बनाइए। उसकी देखा देखी 1735 में शाह की ससुराल बेगम ने भी बोला कि वो नहर बना सकते तो आप क्यों नहीं बना सकते, आप शामली की तरफ नकुड़ गंगो की तरफ एक नहर बनाइए। और 1735 में ईस्टर्न यमुना कैनाल वाज बुल्ट, बट ग्रेजुअली इट वाज आल्सो सिल्टेड एंड अबंडेंट बिकॉज ऑफ नॉट मेंटेनेंस। उस समय नॉन प्लान फंड नहीं हुआ करता था, राजा ने एक बार बना दिया। लेकिन अब नाउ इन आवर प्रेजेंट सिचुएशन हम धीरे धीरे आ रहे हैं। तो आई विल टेल यू, अब इरिगेशन डेवलप इन 19th century during the British era, and now I will give you some important milestones. At the beginning of 19th century, net irrigation area was 0.8 million hectare in India. It rose to 13.3 million hectare. And in 13.3 million hectare में the percentage 45% was the canals, 35% was the wells, 15% was the tanks, and 5% was other sources. So from 0.8 to 13.3 in 19, because during this period, lot of this irrigation development came. Irrigation developed in India in 19th century. Under this rule was essentially part of famine relief works. You know, East India Company was ruling India. Headquarters was at Calcutta. Bengal Engineering Group, headquarters it was in Calcutta. They shifted to the Ludhiana, and again from Ludhiana to Roorkee. And BEG headquarters actually in Roorkee. And my dear friends, what happened?
Engineer N.K. Yadav,
in 1828, 26, what
Engineer
happened?
N.K. Yadav,
Yes,
I will request you to now please try to close as early as possible because your time is up to 5 p.m.
Sir, I will take more 15-20 minutes more, and my CB Yadav actually will cover in 30 minutes.
Yes, 10 minutes more.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay. This Upper Ganga Canal, which is part of my lectures today, it was surveyed between 1836 to 1845. In 1854 to irrigate 0.37 million hectare. Chauhan Canal in Bihar 1879 to 8 million hectare. Odisha sub canal system Mahanadi 1895 million hectare. Upper Ganga Canal with its headworks in Hardwar was the largest irrigation canal system in the whole world. That's why I told you earlier. This is the view of a northern Upper Ganga Canal system. View of canal at Hardwar. My dear friends, earlier the capacity was 191 cubic, later remodeled to 280 cubic. Then Government of India appointed the first Irrigation Commission in 1901, so that some more development in irrigation can occur. This is the view of Ganga Canal. And now, why why this Ganga Canal system is more important in the history of irrigation, I want to tell you that northern province was well endowed with adequate water because of the Ganga and Yamna and Sharda. There are the three tributaries, three main canal rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, and river. And Professor B. Kotley was a lieutenant in the BEG. He see the famine in 1826. 5 lakh to 6 lakh people died. So he prepared a DPR for this canal system so that the northern India can be fed with irrigation and lot of these crops and lot of greenery can develop. This is the modern Bhimgoda barrage. Bhimgoda barrage from the upstream sides. 1838 affected the whole country between Delhi to Allahabad. That's why this project came. Sir Bobby Kotley, original cost was 135 lakhs, constructed within a span of 12 years, means 1843 to 1854. My dear friends, I want to tell you one thing more. During British era, the canal system was also the birthplace of engineering institutions in India. Because in 1847, the first engineering college of the whole British Empire, Thomson College of Engineering, came into Roorkee. Later on, now became the University of Roorkee, and now IIT Roorkee, famous IIT, that has completed 175 years of glorious years. So that was the largest man-made canal system in the whole world, with no production in the nature and magnitude of what existing anywhere in the world. So I will tell you gradually, and I will cover it within 15 to 20 minutes, so that the second panelist, Engineer C.B. Yadav, will tell you about the enhancing capacity from 10,500 to 13,500 cubic. So that nowadays, from Tehri project, from the during this monsoon season, lot of this irrigation can be done in the north western UP up to the Kanpur region. So, Sir Bobby Kotley was the only officer. He was a very small team of 7 officers, senior officers as engineers. Sir Bobby Kotley was in charge of planning, layout, design, and execution. Okay? And its yield was around 8%. It was one of the best project ever, best project that yielded around 8%. Financially, a great success and protected large area against the evils of famine and drought. And now come gradually, point wise, how this modern Ganga Canal system constructed. The holy Ganga flowing from Gangotri to Ganga Sagar, Bhimgoda, Harkipadi, Mayapur, Kankal. These are the 4 historic places for Hindus, very famous. Bhimgoda, Harkipadi, Mayapur, and Kankal, Lord Shiva's Susra, for bringing water for supplying the farmers, priests, being interested in maintaining water in their hearts. So these 4 structures, Pathri, Dhanori, cross regulator, Beaver to Roorkee, it was a challenge, Collier Bridge, Sol and Aqueduct. So my dear friend, these were the 6 or 5 major hurdles in construction of the Ganga Canal system, and gradually I'll come one by one. I can even tell you without seeing a slide, because I have worked lot of works during this upper Ganga Canal system, the parallel Ganga Canal system. I was posted for 3 years, and I was even engaged in Patri passage. I was also engaged in Dhanori cross regulator. I was engaged in Meherwa to Roorkee for filling of the clay and Mars, and our this other unit work in the Sol and Aqueduct. This is Lakshman Jhula. This is the dam Koti famous, still it exists. And my dear friend, this is the Om Bridge. This is our famous Om Bridge, constructed by the UP Irrigation by my second panelist, Engineer C.B. Yadav. During this enhancing capacity, he will tell you more. This is Harkipadi, very famous for Hindus, where we have a holy dip. And this is the Shiv Dhanush Bridge at Harkipadi, constructed by myself during this Kumbh Mela of 2016. And it is now an icon of Hardwar. You can search in your Google. They are the 5 bridges, but this is my dream project, the Shiv Dhanush Bridge. and it is one of the best cities that I have seen so far. This is the Sivanus beach. This is of the old Hardwar weir, because now this Bhimgola barrage you are finding is 85, 84, 1985, but before that it was a weir like this. Now, gradually, I'll come by steps taken by Sir Pravi Kotle for construction of this Ganga Canal system. From Bhim Mayapur, total drop was around 10 meter in a distance of 6 meter. At Mayapur, he made a regulator to control the canal system. At Damkot, he also constructed a inspection system there, masonry, dam, 10 feet in length, regulating bridges of 10 arches, each of 20 feet wide, gates and machinery regulation, and for this, a historical irrigation work. Now it's still existing for hydromechanical works, for all type of gates, for all type of penstocks. That workshop is playing a vital role in Uttarakhand and other parts of our India and outside also. And this is my hero, Sir Pravi Kotle. He was an army officer and he planned this Ganga Canal system. Now, my dear friends, as I had divided the canal system in 4 parts, first part was up to Ranipur, second was Pathri Basin, and third is Ratamau, and fourth, last is the Solani. The not windmill, it is a water mill. Atta chakki, jisko panchakki कहते थे. ये Pathri super passage का, where the river is on the upper side and canal on the bottom side. So see the structures. Ratmo drainage. There was a good reasons to hope that by these different means, an entire command has been obtained over the formidable obstacle of the progress of canal channel. It was a navigation also for both rafts and timber. Hanori cross regulator, Ratmo cross regulator. You will find from one side river is coming, from other side our canal system is coming, and both the regulation is being done very marvelously. Still it is working. Now, Thompson College, as I already told, 1847, Roorkee College of Engineering, 1854, Thompson College of Engineering, 1847, the first technical university, University of Roorkee, and 2001, IIT Roorkee. This is the main building of our IIT. This is the boon of the Ganga Canal system to Roorkee, northern India, and for India, engineering system also. Hardwar, I already told that constructed for 1 lakh capacity. It was raised to 6.4 capacity. And here I want to tell you why the 6.4 lakh capacity gates were designed. I will tell you, in 1924, the maximum flood of 6,40,000 cusack against 5 lakh cusack of 1894. And 2013, my dear friend, when the Tihri dam was constructed, again the same passed. And my second panelist was the president posted there. He managed the whole system there, although one gate was passed, was broken because of some technical or some say that heavy, huge flood system. So high flood during this 20th September to 30th September, 40 hours rain. In 1917, for minimum 1,000 cusack between the Malviya ji, Harki Pahadi and Ganga Sabha. And this colony aqueduct, there are 15 arches, 50 feet each. The water space 750 feet. Founded on an elaborate series of blocks of mason, sunk 20 feet deep below bed of steel. Forest ice strengthened by box work load with heavy stones. And you find an example in the whole history of irrigation in the whole world, where such a huge irrigation, this aqueduct, is still standing like a great, like a Himalayas. Still it is working. So my dear friends, we have to be very cautious while designing that the quality is the utmost. And we have to follow Sir Pravi Kotle that there is no other question mark besides this quality. Maintain our quality so that our structures can survive for a lot of years and our mankind. This is the view of the old Solani aqueduct, and this is the downstream of the Solani aqueduct, and this is the present Solani aqueduct constructed during posting from 90 to 93. This is the view of Ganga Canal bridge at Roorkee. See, all the bridges from here to Kanpur were of the same design with the chuna patthar, not cement, not saria. So see the beauty. Even when you are coming to Hardwar, Dehradun, from Mond, a steel bridge is there, 1898, constructed by government workshop, 1898, say 124 years. And that was designed for Tangas, passing of the army, British army. And now 150 tons trucks, loaded trucks are being passed. So see the quality, see the design, see the foresightedness, जिसको कहते हैं दूरदर्शी. हमें भी जैसे अपनानी है क्या कि हमारे डैम्स, हमारे प्रोजेक्ट्स 100 साल नहीं, 200 साल नहीं, 1000 साल चलें, तो हमें ये ध्यान रखना होगा. Sir, we Cotley issued a circular in 1852 containing clear and determined instructions for forming embankments and plantation along the
Dear Engineer N.K. Yadav,
Ganga Canal.
please submit.
Total cost was revised to not 65, it was 165 lakh. Now just two slides there. SC Goel sir, I will request just 5 minutes more. I will take.
Okay.
During the more than 100 years of running history, during 1970, excessive sedimentation division up to 12 km per 3 powerhouse to reduce tendency of trajectory was constructed under the guidance of Professor Bharat Singh, Vice Chancellor of Roorkee University. Also conducted a study of sediment and transport capacity of Ganga by IRDM, UR, 1972, Professor Bharat Singh. 312 capacity was increased. Silt particles beyond 7,000 ppm stock water from the headworks to the canal to avoid silting. So at that time there was no rule up to 72, but after this rule was, the irrigation manual was made that even the silt ppm increases to 7,000 ppm, the action or SDO is empowered to stop the water from the headworks. And now lastly, one remark by Lieutenant Colonel F.V. Corbett on completion report of remodeling to the Ganga Canal in 1895. 1895 it was remodeled and increased the capacity from 90 to 1 cubic. Now see the beautiful words of Colonel Corbett. There was no class of engineering works which requires more detailed study of local conditions and formation of ground than the alignment drainage cuts apparently flat alluvial plains of this country. See the beautiful lines of Colonel F.V. Corbett after remodeling in 1895. And of the great benefits resulting to the country from these works, there can be no question. Large areas which previously flooded have now been drained and brought under cultivation. And now the conclusion: continuous development of irrigation over a long period, geographic play in United Province, contributed to socio-economic conditions, prosperity of people inhabiting the large irrigating command, gain covered with intense agricultural activities, revenue to the government for development of state, great environmental changes. Flora and fauna have also undergone a substantial changes. So, my dear, with the construction of the Ganga Canal system, these were the benefits that our state government, the United Province at the time, the Uttar Pradesh, and after this Kanpur also, the water goes to the main Ganga Canal, Banganga River system. And now, I have an acknowledgement. I was posted on the Ganga Canal modernization project from 90 to 93. And full credit goes to my senior Thomsonian in Rajpal Singh, a retired chief engineer and professor in WRDM IIT Roorkee. Sri Rajpal Singh, always inspiring and team leader from front, and served NDGC as SDO advisor and executive engineer of NDGC, and later played an important role in new modernization of Ganga Canal from Hardwar to Roorkee. Apart from this, one more name I want to add it. Because as S.C. Goel sir had told me to the audience, I'm basically a mechanical engineer from IIT Roorkee. I want to tell you that a lot of the civil engineering I have to come across with my younger brother, engineer C.B. Yadav, who is a graduate of civil engineer, that how this embankments, how this there because of this flood, because of the span. When I was constructing the Shiv Dhanush bridge, he helped him a lot for foundation, scouring. So I have to learn a lot of formulas at the time during this from my younger brother, engineer C.B. Yadav, and I'm very thankful to him also that आज वो हमारे बीच में हमारे साथ हैं to deliver a second lecture for enhancing the capacity. So with this acknowledgement, I end my lecture, my topic, and this is my slogan that I have made, that we have to leave the world better than we got it. My dear friend, the 4 lines that I have created, because when you go to the abode, you have to give to the society, you have to contribute to the society. What we get, we have to give, we have to construct a better world than we got it. With this, I thank you all. I thank Engineer S.C. Goel sir, our S.C. Chauhan sir, our Calcutta headquarters for giving the opportunity to deliver a lecture on the history of irrigation and construction of Ganga Canal system. With this, I thank you, and over mic to Engineer S.C. Goel sir.
Thank you, Engineer N.K. Yadav, for your very knowledgeable deliberation and giving facts about the most elevated system of this world, Ganga Canal system. Now I will request Engineer C.B. Yadav to give his deliberation, and before I invite C.B. Yadav, I will tell you briefly about his career. Engineer C.B. Yadav graduated from BIT Jhansi in the year 1995 in civil engineering. He joined UP Irrigation as assistant engineer in the year 1999. After serving Bansagar project, Allahabad, Bundikhand division, Robertsganj, Sonbhadra, and Purvi Ganga Canal system, Naziabad, and Irrigation and Construction Division, Ghaziabad Flood Works, and SDO Headworks of Sharda Sahayak Canal, Lakhimpur Kheri. He was promoted to the post of Executive Engineer in the year 2013. And he remained in charge of Ganga Canal, Northern Division Ganga Canal, it is called Roorkee. And this during this charge, he was in charge of this Upper Ganga Canal, about which Engineer N.K. Yadav was talking. At present, he is Drainage Circle, Aligarh from 2020. Now I invite Engineer C.B. Yadav to give his deliberation. Over to C.B. Yadav. C.B. Yadav, please.
ये अनम्यूट नहीं किया इन्होंने। यार इनको बोलना अनम्यूट करेंगे पहले। हेलो सर, यू अनम्यूट। यादव सर, प्लीज अनम्यूट फर्स्ट। You are not audible.
Okay, sir. Okay,
sorry,
sir.
Now it is okay. Yes.
Coordination.
Mr. Yadav, you are not audible. Mr. C.B. Yadav, you are not audible.
Sir, the construction of Upper Ganga Canal irrigation
हाँ
was
वो कर
used to be estimate and proof of foresighted and confidence of canal engineers date back to 1837 to 1854. Our senior sir already have told the Ganga Canal was construction during British period. Sorry for instruction. Sorry for. The Ganga Canal was formally opened on 8th April 1854. The UGC system was constructed on the right bank of Ganga with initially capacity of 6,750 cusecs diversion capacity. Initially, it was originally designed to provide the protective irrigation for the Rabi season, when the water was diverted by the temporary bund in the river Ganga. With the construction of Bhimgowda drop shutter weir in 1917 to 21, and in 1984-85, New Bhimgowda barrage come into existence. By the year of 1938, of canal supply UGC were increased 8,500 cusecs without carrying out any remodeling. Sir, I want to tell you the Ganga Canal capacity initially was 6,750 cusecs, and it was its capacity increased without any works 18,85 cusecs without carrying any remodeling existing system. The capacity of the system over the year has been increased to 10,500 cusecs after the remodeling or modernization of Ganga Canal. When the Ganga Canals systems has more than 170 years old. After a century, in these systems, so many structures, just like our senior said, Pathri Power Super Passage, Ratmo Liver Crossings, and Sonali Aqueducts, all of these two old structures have any times of damage. Then we improved for this. We in modernization of Upper Ganga canals, we conclude that a PUGC system, parallel Upper Ganga Canal, has construction in the year of 1991 to 2002. At that time, they enhancing the capacity of Ganga Canal from 10,500 cusecs. The maximum capacity in the canal reaches was proposed to 370 cumecs, 13,000 cusecs, which includes 20% extra for the silt ejectors. Sir, I once told you that in 1970 the Ganga Canal was silted due to heavy silt load passed through in the Ganga Canal. At that time, there are no silt ejectors in the Ganga systems. After this, a improvement in this system was done, that a silt ejector has made in kilometer up to 2.20 near Kankhan. The 4 cross drainage works located old Ganga canals are more century old and outlived their lives. Sir, I want to told you that the regulation of Ganga Canal was very difficult in the any canal regulation in the world, because we get water from the Ganga Canal from a old supply channel which is ungated, and through a link channel which is upstream of the Bhimgoda barrage. For the regulation of Ganga Canal was taken from the link channel and old supply channel Harki Pauri, and excess water passed through the Haridwar Dam and Mayapur escape channels. To enhance the capacity of Ganga Canal up to 13,000 cubic, the constructions of a staggered cross regulators, head regulators, and 250 meter link channels from Mayapur to slide move नहीं कर रही सर.
Next slide. Enter the book.
एंटर कर दो. अच्छा पीछे वाली
चल रहा है.
अब पीछे चले क्या?
मूव कर दे.
बैक वाली कहाँ है?
बैक में जो उसी
नहीं ये तो आ गया.
ये बैक
Shift. Widening of the main Ganga Canal from Mayapur head regulator from kilometer 00 to 6.4 Jwalapur regulator, where the upper Ganga Canal PUGC emerges was done. Construction of PUGC was done from kilometer 6.04 to kilometer 29.343 at the Roorkee in the first phase of the modernisation of upper Ganga Canal. Works included enhancing the capacity from 10,500 cubic to 13,000 cubic to increase the capacity of supply channel of 495 cubic. Sir, I want to told you that the supply channel is known as the from Harki Pauri to head of Ganga Canal at Mayapur. That portion of 3 kilometers is known as the supply channels. To increase the capacity of supply channel to 495 cubic, bed level of supply channel was lowered 0.5 meters in the length of 3 kilometers from Harki Pauri to Mayapur regulator. That is the slide of lowering of Ganga Canal, because its both banks are both the banks of supply channels are in Avadi areas, so there is no chance of widening of the canals. That's why we lowered the bed of supply channels for the capacity of 15,000 cubics. So these are the photo of lowering of bed of supply channels. Second part of sir, construction of a staggered cross regulator of capacity of 184 cubic at the escape channel. Sir, the capacity of Mayapur regulator at the head of Ganga Canal is not so much to pass the 13,000 cubic water from that area, and it's also a century old the structure. That's why they to decide to form a regulator and a head regulator, a cross regulator and head regulator in the Mayapur escape channels to increase the capacity of Ganga Canal. Why we formed to serve a staggered canal, a staggered cross regulator. That's why reason behind this, a bridge is passing in the lower side of the structures from Haridwar to Dehradun in a curve shape. That's why we formed a staggered regulators. That is the slides of sir, our staggered cross regulator. This is the bridge. That's why we form is the staggered cross regulators. That is the bridge, sir. My chief engineer visited. This is the foundation raft. This is the crash regulators are in Mayapur escape channels. Check. Second, the construction of head regulator of capacity of 124 cumex. Head regulator is on the head of Mayapur link channels, which connect the Mayapur escape to main UGC at the lower portion of Ganga Canal, lower part of the नहीं आ रहा क्या आगे अब आगे ये आगे सर that is the portion of head regulator at the head of the Mayapur link channels. Sir, this is the pier of head regulators, slabs, wing walls, fourth construction of Mayapur link channel connected to UGC below Mayapur head regulator, Mayapur head to regulator of UGC. This is the sir. We construct a link channel for 2,500 cubic capacity from Mayapur escape to main UGC. This is the canal link Mayapur link channels. Second, fifth part है sir, construction of bridge junction point downstream of Mayapur regulator. Mayapur regulator. This is the sites of bridge and junction point where the Mayapur link channel meet to main UGC system, upper Ganga Canal. चल नहीं रही यार. This is the sir bridge which link to main city of Haridwar to Dehradun Roorkee roads. On this system, a sewer line also passes through over this bridge. This is the junction, main junction point of new construction Mayapur link channels and old UGC, existing UGC, existing upper Ganga Canal. Sixth part of the Sariska winding and strengthening of the bank, boulder pitching of UGC from head to kilometer 2.2 at the seal ejector. Here, sir, we widen the canal from 48 meter to 56 meters, widening and doing the both banks and beds are whole cross sections are by boulder pitching This is the this was the existing UGC, which we have to increase the capacity from 10,500 cubic to 13,000 cubics. This is the first view of when the canal is running after the remodeling, from enhancing the capacity. This is the final view of this Mayapur link channels and whole system of UGC and Mayapur link channel and Mayapur escape channels. And this is also a Dehradun highway, Roorkee to Dehradun bridge. That's why we construct the staggered regulator at the, I think this is the first regulator in irrigation that was made by staggered. Also, sir, I want to told you, in the current monsoon period, the rainfall in the western UP is very low, approximately 50% below the average rainfall. But to enhance the capacity of Ganga Canal, the irrigation department is fulfilling irrigation needs in the western UP successfully. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chairman, sir, for giving you a chance for presenting the enhancing the capacity of Ganga Canal.
Sir, one thing that I want to add here, sir, because after construction of this Tihri Dam, and there was an intense actually additional requirement of the water in the western Uttar Pradesh. This widening or enhancing capacity from 10,500 to 13,500 watts. The basic instructions from the UP government so that the Kharif channel may run with full capacity of 30,500 capacity, and the more and more this irrigation or the paddy crop, dhan crop, the sugar cane crop, the western actually Uttar Pradesh is the immense actually the sugar cane, Muzaffarnagar, Meerut, Bulandshahr, Aligarh, Etah, Mainpuri and Kanpur. So this capacity was necessary, and Engineer C.V. Yadav was the instrumental in constructing this enhancing the bypass channel from upper end of the dam Koti to the lower end of the Mayapur headworks, Mayapur head regulator. So full credit go to C.V. Yadav for executing timely within a span of 2 years. He completed it, and I am also thankful to Engineer C.V. Yadav for giving a wonderful design approved by his then Honorable Irrigation Minister Engineer Shipalji for approving this Om Bridge that was presented by Uttarakhand Irrigation or UPDCC, Uttarakhand Project Development Construction Corporation. I am also very thankful to Engineer Chalish Gaonkar sir and Engineer A.K. Dinkar sir for giving us an opportunity and for giving and boosting us to give to work extensively on Ganga Canal system and all other hydromechanical structures, and especially thankful to Engineer Naren Singh and S.C. Goel sir, our immediate past president and the chairman of the dam, for always encouraging us. So thank you all, and we hand over the speaker to Engineer S.C. Goel sir.
अच्छा नहीं अभी नहीं हुआ अच्छा thank you engineer C.V. Yadav for giving your presentation is very nice on construction of Ganga Canal. Construction of Ganga Canal is such a nice and beautiful subject that 45 minutes is a very less time for this period. Now I will start the question and answer session. This will be coordinated by me, and I am seeing some 19 question and answers questions on this screen. Please, first question, please. Where is the first question? Please, question. भाई इसको कहीं से ऑन करना पड़ेगा ना क्वेश्चन पूछने वालों के लिए। पवन, इसे ऑन करना पड़ेगा ना क्वेश्चन आंसर के लिए। तो क्वेश्चन आंसर के लिए वो, अरे भाई वो तो खत्म हो गया यार। अरे तुमको बुला रहा हूँ यार, उनका तो खत्म हो गया, तो यहाँ आना था ना। अब ये क्वेश्चन आंसर के खुल नहीं रहा ये, हाउ टू ओपन इट। 20 क्वेश्चन है।
आप सर जहाँ क्वेश्चन एंड आंसर लिखा है इस पे क्लिक कीजिए।
हाँ क्लिक कर दिया पवन ने, क्लिक कर दिया।
हाँ तो आ जाएंगे क्वेश्चन डिस्प्ले हो जाएंगे।
तो क्वेश्चन आंसर।
हाँ जस्ट यू ओपन।
मिस्टर तपन कुमार बनर्जी,
Yeah.
your audio needs attention. Mr. Tapan Kumar Banerjee. What is your question, please? Please ask your question.
नहीं, ऑडियो नीड अटेंशन और कुछ नहीं है।
अच्छा, ऑडियो कुछ नहीं है। Voice not properly audible.
Any question, please?
Audio quality is poor. Nothing is audible, please. Sir.
Actually, this was the audio problem only.
Mr. Tapan Kumar Banerjee.
Yes.
टेक्निकल नहीं है।
रुक जा। Mr. Tapan Kumar Banerjee wants a copy of this thought-provoking presentation. I will request Mr. N.K. Yadav and C.B. Yadav to provide a copy of the presentation to Mr. Tapan Kumar Banerjee. Amit
Okay,
Singh.
Sir, he will send an email to us and we'll provide the
Amit
PPT.
Singh said, respected panelists, thank you, sir, providing us the valuable information. Kind regards, Amit. Pratyush Tyagi. It is stated that there was an agreement in 1917 to pass 1,000 cusecs at Harki Podi. Was there no agreement about the minimum flow in the river? Who will answer? Mr. C.B. Yadav or N.K. Yadav? Or let me answer.
हाँ, any question?
नहीं, वो था एग्रीमेंट का है।
हाँ, बट गंगा सभा।
Am I audible?
1917 में था।
Am I audible? Who is answering?
किसका था? तपन कुमार। Yeah. It is said. Yeah, I want to tell you, during this British rule in 1917, tri-party agreement actually came between the Ganga Sabha, our registered system at Hardwar to regulate the and all things at Hardwar, Harki Podi. It was a tri-party between the irrigation department through the British rule, irrigation department, the Ganga Canal system, and our Honorable Madan Mohan Malviya ji, that at least during this closure period, 1,000 cusecs of water is must, so that the pilgrims can have a bath, holy bath. Even we have to divert the water from the upper natural, without any natural, this one continuous is there at through old supply channel system. So it is very clear, and it is this rule is not this agreement is still existing, and during the closure every year in October in Dashaira, Kavali, we have to maintain releasing the 1,000 cubic of water. Yes, sir. If any other question? Any other question from any participants?
No movement of anonymous viewer asked, no movement of slides. There was no movement of slides in the presentation of Mr. C.B. Yadav. So we have noted down for our future deliberations. Anonymous viewer.
Sir, it was a little bit a technical problem when slides were not moving during the second panelist. It was a pure technical error. So we have to do nothing for this. Next time, actually, we'll check our network system and we'll try to our network system in Uttarakhand State Center.
Project.
Sorry for any inconvenience caused to any this.
Hello.
And now the next question is from Dhavaleshwar Bhandaru. He asked, do you have any hydel projects on Ganga Canal? N.K. Yadav, please tell that there are 8 powerhouses on Ganga Canal.
Sir, we are having in old Ganga Canal system, we are having 4 to 5 hydro projects. First one is the Patri powerhouse, around 19 to 20 megawatt. Second is the Pur powerhouse. These 2 projects are in our Uttarakhand state. And apart from this,
I will try now.
Oh, sir. Yes, sir. The Mohammadpur powerhouse and Patri powerhouse actually were in Uttarakhand on this Ganga Canal system. Nirgajani, Salava, and Bula. Let Bula. These are in Uttar Pradesh. 3 hydro projects in Uttar Pradesh, 2 in Uttarakhand. So, any other questions, sir? 5 hydro projects are installed in Ganga Canal system of different capacity because of different heads.
Mr. Dhalveshwar Bhandaru asked, what type of lining presently exists?
How much area?
What type of lining?
Lining. Sir, thing I want to tell you, the lining actually from Dhanori to Hardwar, it was in old Ganga Canal system, because this from Dhanori to Roorkee, the canal is in filling. And one point I want to add it here more, sir, because the first Indian railway system was started from Kaliar to Roorkee just to carry the clay from the Kaliar to Dhanori and Roorkee to just filling and to maintain the filling system and to maintain a level of Ganga Canal system. And it was a very small, and the steel engine is at our Roorkee railway station. And now I want to tell you here, sir, from Dhanori, not Dhanori, from Mewar to Roorkee, because it was in filling and because of this Solani aqueduct, lot of this earthwork was there and it compacted very well, and this is why this lining from the bricks, special bricks were prepared in Landora, and that from Mewar to Roorkee was made. And simultaneously in upper Ganga, parallel Ganga Canal system, from kilometer to Roorkee, the whole system was from 6.29 to 34. 29. They did total lining. Actually,
Amen.
Any other questions, sir?
Mr. N.K. Yadav, some anonymous viewer asked, how much area irrigated by upper Ganga Canal? Please reply.
Sir, the total actually, when the project was prepared, it was at 33 actually lakh. Now it is estimated 25 lakh. one thing, please wait one minute. Sir, the one participant were asking about the CCA, the total area of this Ganga Canal system. Sir, CCA of this Ganga Canal system is 1068 lakh hectare. And apart from the CCA, potential in Kharif is 5.06 lakh, Rabi is 4.1 lakh hectare, total 9.18 lakh hectare. Utilization, Kharif is 4, Rabi is 4, total 8 point, around 72%. Actually, total area is being irrigated. Sir, any other question?
मिस्टर एम नागराजन को कैसे बुलवाएं भैया?
Sir,
ये देखो
Hello.
मिस्टर
Nagraj is connected from iPad.
हाँ मिस्टर चक्रवर्ती.
Yes, sir.
hello.
Yes,
हाँ
sir.
मिस्टर हाँ ये
Goel
मिस्टर
साहब.
नागराज online.
Goel साहब.
He says that he is watching since beginning and is not able to speak.
Yes, Mr. Nagraj.
Yeah. Mr. Goel साहब.
Yes, sir.
And
I'm
Mr.
listening.
Chauhan. See, actually, I wanted to be in the beginning, but I was here. I could not get the connection. Now, I just watched the entire webinar proceedings. Oh, hello? Hello?
ऑडियो में आज बहुत प्रॉब्लम है.
Hello?
साफ नहीं.
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Nagraj,
Yes,
I will
yes,
write a
I'm
question.
speaking.
I will answer it.
Hello?
CVDB का
Sir,
चैनल.
write it. I am not able to listen you, sir.
Not able to listen now?
You just write it, sir. You write.
हट ना जाए बस हो गया.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Sir, at the outset, I just want to thank Mr. N.K. Yadav and C.B.
Thank you
Yadav.
very much.
Yes,
Now-
sir.
Yeah, my question is,
Yes, sir.
sir, I expected that our C.B. Yadav will just throw light on the construction of Ganga Canal, but he was able to give a lot of information about the modernization of the canal. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
No, Mr. C.B. Yadav? Hello?
You are audible, sir.
Yeah.
Mr. M. Nagraj,
Yes, sir.
I will tell you about modernization of this Ganga Canal system.
No.
Since the system became very old and the four major aqueduct and super passage constructed on this Ganga Canal start from Haridwar, Ranipur super passage, then your Pathri super passage, then your Ratnori level crossing and your Dhanori aqueduct. They became very old. So it was thought that the life of these structures became overdue. So a project of modernization of Ganga Canal was made for the modernization of this Ganga Canal from head to tail. But later on, this was done only from Haridwar to Roorkee by in the year probably 1900 to 2000.
Yeah.
So, and the lining of this parallel Ganga Canal system was done, and renovation of all these four major hydroelectric structures, which are backbone of civil engineering education, aqueduct, the super passage, and this level crossing. And I would like to add one more thing, that these structures, Pathri super passage was silted up to say 7 feet silt, and it was considered that it can damage any time. So this modernization of this project was undertaken.
बोल सकते हैं.
One thing, sir, I will add one thing more, sir.
Yeah.
In 1970 to 72, sir,
Uh-huh.
the Ganga Canal, our silted it totally from here to around 6.2 kilometer.
Okay.
And at that time, sir, there was no silt ejector at 6.2. So one team from IIT, the University of Roorkee, under the chairmanship of Dr. Bharat Singh, and our action at the time was Professor Mr. Rajpal Singh, and they made these rules, and the silt ejector was constructed, and in IMO it was changed that after this 7,000 ppm, this canal water is to be stopped from Bhimgowda headworks. So now it is the power of the SDO or concerned action who are stationed during this rainy season, that if the ppm is increased from 7,000 to little bit more, they automatically stop the canal water, so that our this silting of canal will not occur, sir. Or any other?
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Mr. N.K. Yadav, too. I would like to add Mr. M. Nagaraj. 1970, when it was silted, the regulation power was not lying with SDO Headworks, which was in charge of this. And there was no communication. SDO Headworks, though this canal was silted up in 1970, Alaknanda Committee, and they revised the whole system, and those powers which was lying with head of the Department of Irrigation were transferred to the officer of this canal, who was stationed at Haridwar. The canal was silted up to the depth of just 7 feet. It is only 2 feet it was remaining, and nobody could stop this silting because they had no powers to close this canal. Then this silt ejector, was thought necessary. However, you see this beautiful system had already had two escapes, one at in front of Harkipadi and another escape at Mayapur. But these two escapes were not sufficient, so another silt ejector was proposed at 2.2 kilometer. And incidentally, or luckily, the in charge of that silt ejector was me, who constructed in the year 76 at that time.
So very thankful to Engineer S.C. Goel, sir.
Not thankful to
me. The construction of this silt ejector. Very thankful to sir.
Any question?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the information.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Now I will put up this summary of webinar. अरे यार जब तुम लोग काम सौंपते तो क्या करूं मैं बताऊं. Shri N.K. Yadav started his deliberation from history of irrigation.
इसके नेट हो गया ना.
Am I audible? N.K. Yadav started his worldwide longest lasting irrigation system. Then he started Akkadian Empire in the year 2300 BC, and he told that this was first human empire. He then Babylonian Empire in 18th century BC. Historic code of law 285 laws. Assyrian Empire, they took pride in construction of irrigation system. Yellow River basin in China. Chinese are known to have started irrigation from 2600 BC. About Egyptian civilization of Nile Valley, irrigation started in year 3000 BC. They also started constructing of lift irrigation system for the first time in the history. Early irrigation system of Iran, great irrigation under the rule of Darius 500 BC. They started construction for the first time 500 BC, tunnel construction. Then tapping groundwater from recharge area was started during Iran. Irrigation system of Japan and Southeast started in era Yaoji era before BC. Irrigation works of early Americans. Irrigation was prevalent in America around 100 BC. Chandragupta Maurya period in India. This was great period in the history of India, and two crop system was there. I'll briefly told, and then it came to construction of this canal system, and he again pointed out about the upper Ganga Canal system, which I also told you about the silting of Ganga Canal and construction of silt ejector at kilometer. At that time, Mr. Yadav also told that Thompson College of Engineering was established, who was later converted to Roorkee University and then at present to IIT Roorkee. My friend engineer N.K. Yadav briefly explained about construction of Ganga Canal and modernization of Ganga Canal. And he told it was initially constructed for a discharge of 6,000 cusecs, which was raised to 9,000 cusecs. And my dear friends, I have great honor to tell you that for increasing this 3,000 cusecs, no land acquisition was required. Yeah. Now, Mr. Sandeep Chakravarti, thank you very much for joining this. And now I will request Mr. Satish Chandra Chauhan to give vote of thanks for this webinar. उनका नहीं आ रहा, तो आइए
इसमें है वो ब्रीफ लिखा है मेरा पढ़ दीजिए इसमें वोट ऑफ थैंक्स
ये कैपेसिटी सर 13,000 वाली बता दिया कि नहीं आपने?
बता दिया सर, क्या करना है
वोट ऑफ थैंक्स।
अरे भैया 40 रह गए, बाकी सब भग गए।
ये लीजिए आ जाइए।
Mr. Satish Chand Chauhan is our honorary secretary. He is a mechanical engineer and he retired from ONGC as chief general manager. And he is expert in drilling and exploration of oil and gas. He superannuated in year 2016. He also served in BHL Hardwar and he is empaneled arbitrator, certified chartered engineer, and most of all, he is a very good athlete and he is very sportsman, and he is running our institution very nicely as honorary secretary. Over to honorary secretary to deliver his vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir.
ठीक कर दिया मैंने,
कर दिया था, बहुत बढ़िया।
Thank you very much, Gul Sahab. Respected Engineer M. Nagraj, Chairman Civil Engineering Division Board, and Dr. G. Ranganathan, Chairman Kate, and this our panelist, learned panelist, the Engineer Narendra Kumar Yadav, Engineer C.B. Yadav, and our Engineer S.C. Goyal, Moderator and Chairman of Disaster Awareness Management Forum, and council members, corporate members, committee members, delegates, students, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to all of you. Indeed, it is my great privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this wonderful occasion of the webinar on the history of irrigation and construction of Ganga Canal, and which has been the very interesting subject as you have interacted and enjoyed this occasion. On behalf of the Institution of Engineers, Uttarakhand State Center, I extend my gratitude to M. Nagraj, Chairman Civil Engineering Division Board, Dr. G. Raghunath, Chairman Kate, to spare the time from their busy schedule and gracing the occasion. And I thanks and express my gratitude to the Uttarakhand State Center Organizing Committee for conducting this very informative and knowledgeable session on the irrigation system, not within India, but on all over the world, how this irrigation system has developed. I extend my gratitude to Mr. Sudeep Chakravarti, which has been continuously engaged on this system and providing the platform for this webinar. I express my hearty gratitude to both the panelists, learned panelists, Narinder Kumar Yadav ji and Engineer C.B. Yadav, and our very senior and very intelligent, and of course he has been in the irrigation, Sri S.C. Goyal ji, which has been conducted this program very nicely and very interestingly. And of course, you have learned most of the thing, but as you can say that in the ancient civilization, many part of the world practice the irrigation, as you have learned from our learned panelists. In fact, civilization would not be probably possible without some form of the irrigation. As you have learned this, our learned panelist, Sri N.K. Yadav, just he has started the history of the irrigation just from the Babylon and this Babylon Empire, how he is contributed for irrigation, then Syrian Empire, then in China, Egypt, and this in the Egypt, especially in the Nile Valley, he has, and this then Iran, Japan, and South Asia, and this is Thailand, Philippines, and of course he has covered. Then he has come to in India over, just like the Magad, Chandragupta, and the different dynasty in the India, just like a Chola, Pallava, that whatever, and Vijayanagar kingdom, and after that how this our irrigation developed in the after within this Mughal period, just started from Yamna Canal also is. So just from there, he has got to over this 19th century and during the British period also, how this upper Ganga Canal and from old Haridwar, so he has shown to you how the new Haridwar has developed. And then our CV, other panelist, learned panelist, has also given the modernization. He has studied that this how this our Ganga Canal is developed. Of course, I belong to this Haridwar area. And I also enjoyed the lot. I was not knowing that this much about this Ganga Canal. Of course, so many times I have enjoyed this Ganga Canal by swimming because it goes through my village also, the nearby village also. But I learned that a lot. And this thank you very much to both the panelists for enlightening the gathering, and especially for me, I can say, and regarding the position. And in the last, I would like to express my gratitude to all esteemed delegates of webinar for their presence and contribution to make this webinar a great success, and especially for interacting the questions, and especially our M. Nagraj, he has very well versed about the Ganga Canal in this net, so he has put the some question before our panelists, and of course you would have also enjoyed the same interaction with them. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Sir, with the permission of the chair, can I end the webinar?
Pardon?
With the permission of the chair, can I end the webinar?
Okay. Just there are some questions. Yes, you have some query question. Our panelists here, they can answer you. Oh. Pardon? Yes, any question, queries from any participant?
The participants have posted their queries in the chat box.
Okay, this is in the box. Okay, I think no question. Nagaraj, I am Nagaraj, Chairman of the company. I could not be unable to speak.
नागराज तो बोल रही है, प्लीज अनम्यूट नागराज साहब को अनम्यूट कर दीजिए।
अनम्यूट तो वो अपने आप करेंगे।
किसको नागराज बोलना चाहते हेलो जी, what can I help you? Hello. Now I am closing this webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sandeep Chakravarti. You were
Yes.
in the webinar since beginning, and I am sorry while welcoming the delegate, all the persons, and I could not speak your name. Please, I am sorry.
No, sir, it's okay.
Acha, now
Sir, can I
please
end the webinar now, sir?
now leave the let us close it.
Okay, sir. Okay.